Hey, cool cats, welcome back to Mental Health Music Lessons with Imanni. My name is Imanni. I write music for mental health awareness, and I'm so glad to be teaching you about how to not feel anxious while writing music. Part 2. Let's get started. Now, since we've created a list or even just one step, because for me, that's all I have right now. I just have one step for this song that I am editing. Now, since we were able to write down some abstract, general things that don't go with the SMART goals way of setting goals, now since we have that, now we can add little elements of SMART to help us as needed. I wrote down that I need to add markers. And while I was adding markers, I was realizing, hey, maybe I should make this section smaller. So maybe I should edit that section and then make a marker for it. And then I said, stop, Manny. My goal is to just add markers. So let me make this a little bit more specific so that I can stay focused. To help me stay focused, I wrote down add markers as needed. Sometimes I even put those in parentheses just so I know what I've added after this one task. But I'm not going to add a new line and add additional information or anything like that. No, no, no. I'm keeping everything on just one line because I also want to limit myself to just this one task and not write too much. But this helps specify so that whenever I get to a point in the song where I'm like, oh, I really want to edit this part, I can say, okay, Manny, I'll do it later, but right now I'm just going to put down the markers as is. Sometimes when we're trying to fulfill a task, we find that something comes up that's stressful, stress provoking. The first step is to figure out what exactly is the thing that's causing the stress. And then, is there a way to mute this in music, literally mute this in other aspects of life, simply being able to shield it from visibility and focus your attention on other things? Is there a way to mute this thing and still accomplish your goal? When I was editing this section, I'll turn the volume down a little, I noticed that the tempo was all the instruments were going together for a period, and then all of a sudden, you may be able to hear it. The vocals and drums are distinctly not together. The piano is kind of with the vocals, and I don't even know what's happening with that bass. So when that happened, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do here? I was like, maybe I should take a break and not accomplish my goal. But then I took a deep breath in. And I said, no, I'm going to add markers, whatever it takes. So what I did was, instead of listening to the music to identify the markers, I took a moment to look at what the screen was. I was able to mute the music, so I turned the volume either low or all the way off. And then I looked at the music and I saw that we have a significant change of the amount of notes and how fast and long they're being played right here. So this must be a spot where there's a new marker. And even if it's wrong, that's okay. I'm willing to make a mistake for the sake of progress. Another thing that may come up while you're attempting to accomplish your task, either in music or your personal life, is that a little bit of perfectionism jumps in. I am personally a perfectionist, and I also have a little bit of OCD. So I like things to be very organized, and I like things to be almost perfect, sometimes to my own downfall, which it's important to know that that is your personal little weakness so that we can manage our weaknesses. One thing I like to do when I'm doing things on the computer, because it's not like pencil and paper or pen and paper where you can't erase things, or erasing is just kind of like a hassle and you rather do it later. I tell myself to pretend that every word that I write down on the computer is as if I'm writing it with a pen. It's written down, it's as it is, it will be as it is until I finish this one task that I'm focusing on. So I try to do that the best I can. Of course, sometimes I erase things and I just have to, I feel that I have to. But I try my best to try this method of thinking to help me continue moving forward and not pause and go backwards to correct certain things I think are wrong temporarily. So, for example, in this song, I'm realizing that maybe I should rename these verses just verse, because eventually I'm going to be deleting these midsections over there and moving things around to a point where all these sections may become obsolete or simply like worthless, but not completely worthless. At that moment, it will feel that way. However, nothing in life is worthless, and it's very important to remind yourself this. But I told myself, no, this is my goal. I wrote this down already. It is as it is. Let me keep moving forward. Unless it's something that's very, very important. For example, I changed, this was called pre-chorus before, and I changed it to chorus, because that would be a little bit confusing later on if I didn't change that. But I told myself, let me just correct one thing and I'll keep on moving on. I tried to give myself little limits so that I don't force myself to do too many things that I am not comfortable with yet. I try to just take, even with this process, bite sizes of things I'm uncomfortable with and then things I'm comfortable with, mixing and matching them together for me to be able to do this with ease. So, by keeping my focus, I was actually able to put markers throughout the entire song. As you can see here, we have an intro, we have our verse 1, chorus, retransition, verse 2, chorus, retransition, bridge, and chorus outro happening over there. And I know that might have sounded a little bit jarring hearing just a wee bit from each one of them, but they have all been written in. I like to press save, and sometimes I even save a backup copy just in case. And then I tell myself, okay, sweet, I did this. And there's two things you can do. You can either have some type of cross out way or have a type of check mark thing, or you can just simply delete. That's been the most healing method for me, and also the most hardest one for me to get used to, because many times I want to see that I accomplished things. I want to see that I did so much stuff. But things are done, they're done. Your goal is to get to a final product. These are just the steps in between. It's okay to let them go. It's okay to put them in the trash. Some things get let go and some things stay. Okay, cool cat. Now it's your turn to take these tips and tricks and apply them to the music that you're writing or the personal task or goal that is inside of your life that you need help accomplishing. I hope that you learned something about music, and I hope you learned something about mental health as well. This has been Imanni from Imanni Music. I hope that you have a mentally healthy rest of your day, and see you at the next lesson video.